Hello everyone, my name is Sagar and I hope you are doing well. Now in this video I will show you how you can pass arguments or records from one form to other form. So if your forms or if your data source already have relation, so system will automatically take care of that, but currently I'm dealing with independent table. So this is a continuation of our last video. So basically, this is my custom form. To give a background, I will take a minute. This is my custom form, like the employee table form. I have these four fields, okay? And in my last video, I created a button, simply button, and I used this piece of code to open my cust table form, but I haven't passed any kind of record, table, buffer, or something like that. But now in this video specifically, I will simply pass multiple records from my this employee form, okay, and then I will display those records inside my cust table form. Alright, so we already have the button, we already have code how we can open one form from another form. Now I will do few changes here. The first thing is that inside your button, I will make sure that the multi-select properties is changed to yes. And now what I will do, because I need to pass multiple records, so for that the approach that I will take is let me open notepad first. Let me remove this here. So inside my this form, so currently I'm in my employee form and I need to navigate to my customer form, that is cust table form. So the first thing is that when I will click on this open cust table form, what I will do, I will save all the what do we call all the employee ID, because in this form the employee ID is unique. So what I will do, I will simply save I will create a string type of variable. Okay, so I will call that variable as multiple records, something like that. Multiple records, multiple records, and I will simply create something like this. For example, let's say if I clicked on my record number 1 and record number 12, so I will store this inside a string, something like this. Then I will pass this multiple record string to my cust table, and there I will check this string and I will split all these records using comma. So this is the approach that I will take it. Okay. Now for the first approach, I need to create a string, right? So for that, I will simply what I will do, yeah, here let me declare a variable string type named as multiple records. Alright, multiple records. Okay, so I've defined this particular multiple record. Now when you will click on this particular button, okay, so at that time using this element data source, you will get the records of all your selected records, and then I can store this data source into a variable named as form data source. So here I can use my form data source. I will say this as fds equals to. Then I will use my MultiSelectionHelper class. I have already created a tutorial for this one. You can check out if you are not aware about this. So I can say here multi-select multi-selection helper class. Why it's not getting populated here? Okay, I'm writing it wrongly. It's multi-selection helper class. Selection helper. Okay, I will declare it as helper, and I will say equals to. Here I will call my construct method. So it's a multi-selection helper scope resolution construct. Okay, now this is completed, and then inside my this helper class I can call my param data source method. Inside this data source I need to pass my form data source, so I can pass fds here. Alright, and then I can declare my SC employee table. I can say employee table here. Then I can use my this helper class, multi-selection helper class. I can use this get first function here. And once this is completed, and let me remove this code because it is really not required, as I'm passing multiple records, so this is not useful for me. Okay. Now I'll use this while loop. I will say while, and let me say this as employee table. I will start and end my loop here. So I can say my this this multiple, so I need to change it to, let me correct it, LTI multiple records. Okay, let me write again, multiple records. Okay, here we go, multiple records. I will say plus equals to, here I will use my employee table dot swap this variable, not rec id. I want to use my employee id, so I can say employee id, and then at the end I can put my this braces. Okay, now all right. Okay, now here there will be one issue because this is a integer, so I can convert this to int to str. Let me write it to str. All right, and again there will be one issue with this. So for example, let's say, so what this code will do something like this. For example, you selected one, it will create a string like this. Then if you get 12, then it will get again this braces at the end. So basically, it will always have a comma at the end. So either we can take care of this part as well. We can check, here, if initially we can put braces ahead of this. For the first record we can check if employee table, so we can do something like this, but I will go with this only. Okay, and then I can update my employee table buffer here. I can say employee table equals to, from my helper class I can call my next function or get next function. Okay, again this is faced. Okay, it's running now. Okay, I will call this get next function. So yeah. Okay, and then let me display a message like request from, and then I need to pass now this particular string here, right? Wait a second, this multiple records. So I can easily do it from here. I can say I can pass it from here. I can say args dot param, and here I can pass my string, that is multiple records, and I will also pass my caller as well. So I can say args dot caller, and here I can pass the current element. Alright, so basically now this part is completed. Inside my this employee form, I've created a string something like this, and now this form will open, but I need to show all these records one by one. For example, 1 comma 12 uh, inside my cast table form. Now I'll write code for that. So for that, I will need to create extension of my cast table form so that I can do it from my going to user interface. Go to the user interface form, and then my cast table, and I will simply create a code extension because I want to create a COC of my form. Okay, so I'm waiting. Okay, now here my extension is created, and you can see I have this extension here, extension of form str. Now I'm going to create COC of my init method, because when my form will open at that time I want to display the info messages. So for that I can say public void init, and then I will do the next call. I will say next init control. Alright, and I need to basically get the record from my previous form, right? So for that, the first thing I will do is I will say form run. I need the form run of this instance of my form. So basically this is the form run of my test table. But I also need the form run of my previous form, right? That is the employee form. For that I can define my form run object. Here I will say this is my caller equals to from my form run I can call my args, and I can call my caller function. Now the next step would be to check, because this cast table form will be open from multiple places, so I only want to run this code when I'm opening it from my employee table form. So for that I can write this condition. I can say if caller dot argument dot menu item name. So what was the menu item name of my previous form? And this was the name of my display menu item as the employee table. So I will say equals to menu item display str. Here I can pass my this sc employee table, and I can close this if condition. Okay, once this will be done, so I will wait for this again. Okay, so let it run. Okay. So here now I can get that string control. So for that I will write here string. I can say get employee table record, something like this, and I can say using my form run dot argument dot param. I can get that control here. Now as these records will be in this format, so I need to use some collection classes, right? So I will use my list here. I will say list equals to employee table list equals to, I will use this str split function, and here I need to pass my string. So I'll pass my string, that is get employee table, and then I need to define that delimiter. So as I have used this single comma, right? So this will split my this string into multiple records by using this. As this is a list, so I can't directly traverse it. So I need to use my list enumerator here. So I can say list enumerator. Here I will define the object of my list enumerator. So equals to, from my this employee table list, I can use this get enumerator function. And now I can easily traverse. So I can use my while loop. I can say my list enumerator dot, there's a function called as move next. I already created a video how you can use the list or how you can iterate. So we are simply using that only. Here I can use my info statement. Info list enumerator dot current. Alright, now my code is pretty ready. Alright guys, now let's quickly test this. So I'm passing the employee ID 1 and 12. So this should display me 1, 12, and I think it will show me a blank record as well, because we have simply put it commas. So let me open this. Okay, yeah. So here you see we are getting one blank and 1 comma 12. So let's quickly see the code from scratch. Okay, so we have used this click function. Here we define the argument class, we declare this form run, then we declare the multiple records string here. Then using element.data source, we will get the form data source. Then we use our MultiSelectionHelper class. We use the construct function. Then inside our, using our helper class, we pass a param data source. Then inside our helper class, we got the first record in our employee table. Then we simply, pass it here, and we added a comma here at the end. So at every string end, or for every record end, we'll get a comma. So that's why we are getting one more blank value here. And then, we use this get next function so that we can iterate through all the records. And then this is just a custom display message, which, for example, if I will go here, so I'm getting it here. So, and then I call this param here. I pass this string. Then I also pass my caller element as well, name of my form. I initialize my form run, and I pass my argument. Then I call this init run and wait function for initialization, for running the form, and wait because I want to, get the screen freeze, into my testable form. And then the second piece of code that we have written inside our cust table. So cust table is a standard table. That's why we created an extension of it. We created a COC of our form. Then we simply use our init method. We did our next call first. Okay. And then inside our form run, this will be form run here. And then we declare another form run here. And we use this form run dot argument dot caller function. And here we'll get the caller here. Then using our caller, we checked whether the menu item name is same only, whether this form is getting opened from our employee table or not. If our form is getting open from employee table, it simply means that it will pass some kind of records here. Then we declare this variable, and using this, form run.args.param function, we'll get the record inside this variable, get temp table. Then we use the list and the split function, which will basically segregate all the records here. Okay. I can go back here. Okay. And then I use this list enumerator here to iterate through every element of my list. So let me do one thing. This time I will pass 2 and 12, 2, 12. So at the end we are getting a blank record. Okay. So either we can, use our string function to remove the one braces at the end, and then this will work perfectly fine. So thanks for watching this video.